very expected from Vici. We've seen that Ix does not play this champion, and we know this is Xiaopeng's best champion, like, by far, just like Hacker in that vein very early on. So I like that Vici take this one away.
I also have seen teams ban the Nidalee against Xiaopeng quite a lot, 61% of the time.
Which is actually really funny because he's only gotten to play it once.
Yep.
But, so this also goes back to his solo queue count, to where if you look at Xiaopeng's solo queue count, it's like all Rek'Sai Nidalee. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
He is the Nidalee player from 2019.
Exactly. And the fact that one Challenger, one Grandmaster on KR server is actually really impressive. So, great to see the respect from Xiaopeng, but also interesting to see that DMO are the ones who ban out the Nidalee themselves. Of course, Ix has played it twice himself, and first pick Syndra coming out for DMO.
It's kind of funny on the Nidalee point to finish off. It is actually the most banned against both of these teams. So, we're going to see that a lot here in this series. You mentioned the Syndra pick first here for Twyla. Vici's response.
I would expect it to be this. We know this is like the signature iBoy champion. It's his second most played after the Aphelios, has 9 games on it. I'd say he's really one of our only players who make this champion work so well. Him and Sam D are probably our 2 resident like Kalista players willing to pull it out regardless.
True.
So overall, I like the pick coming out from him. I think it really is an iBoy special. And then this is what we talked about with Ix, right, is that he really is known for that Trundle. Trundle works very well up against the Syndra as well. But the last second going with Volibear. It makes sense, right? Volibear, I guess, is the highest priority champion that we see here in the LPL. He's first picked all the time, so going to be a good takeaway from DMO as well.
Yes, Chalitz has played that a hell of a lot in the top lane, but Cube has not, so expected here to Ix.
That's the funny thing, right? Is DMO's the only team that really only plays at top. We will not see Xiaopeng play Volibear if they do end up getting their hands on it, but I guess it doesn't matter because Vici have it. I would expect the Ashe now. We've talked many times in this broadcast about how Ashe is good in the Kalista for, you know, having the slows on her autos. And just going to be a great pick overall. We see it picked all the time here in this meta, so already having a great mid-game setup. When they flashed that, I was confused.
Yeah. This early on, well.
It's going to be the Trundle.
Yeah. Quick. 7 games played, make it 8.
Yep. So
now,
both teams going back to expected comfort. Now, yeah, for Vici,
pairing the Kalista here, is that the priority?
looks like it. I'm kind of surprised they don't just go for some kind of good matchup into the Syndra. I guess, to be fair, since they took the LeBlanc away, there aren't too many things that come to mind other than, you know, the Echo. I guess you could go for something in the vein of a Zoe, which is a bit of a, I don't want to use the term skill matchup, but you kind of both neutralize each other in different ways. And I guess the other place you could go is, we know that Zika is one of our Akali mains, and I actually hate Akali into Syndra, but me and you were talking off broadcast earlier that if you meet people who main Akali, they have like very different perceptions of how they view matchups as compared to, you know, like let's say if you ask someone who doesn't play Akali, they're like, oh no, Syndra or Azir, you know, you can find into Akali, you get to do whatever you want.
Kind of funny again that Zeke is shadowing the last mid laner that Koma coached as well. Like a lot of his champion pool is synonymous with FLICKR over in the LCK. Akali will be banned away, so we can't take that matchup and show us wrong.
To be fair though, it's kind of easy for Zika to be synonymous when Faker played everything.
That's true.
Right? I mean, heck, I don't know if you were around and remember the days of the Master Yi mid, and like I don't mean the funnel Master Yi, I mean like when Faker just picked Master Yi mid, just straight up. I think it was Season 5, if I remember correctly.
Was that AP days or not?
No.
Okay.
It was not. But we see 2 support bans coming out for the side of each, which makes sense, right? You've already picked up your support yourselves, and they have not. When it comes to Yui's pool, he mostly is all about the Thresh and the Leona, so he actually will have both options open. I actually kind of like Thresh into Taric because you don't have to commit to your engage, which Taric's obviously very good at champions that do want to come into him, has like the Dazzle, has a shield, like you have a lot of good ways of dealing with that. They also have the set open, which has been one of Yui's go-to picks as well.
There's a lot of pylon in Vici's draft so far. You get into a choke and it feels pretty devastating if you're DMO.
And there goes the Echo that we highlighted. And the thing is, I love when you have like short-range champions like Rek'Sai or like Assassins that go with Taric because he just enables them so well in these team fights to, you know, not get bursted down so early. Sets up the stun really well too with Echo being able to jump in. The added security if you get the Taric ultimate and then you still have your ultimate up as well.
Yeah.
So Zika going to be able to put a lot of threat onto Twyla and Shubin in the mid to late game.
Well, Yui's going to go towards something that's not even of the two. Doesn't want the engage, wants safety.
I mean, this also does fine into the Taric because, right, once again, you're not running into the Taric. You have very strong trades with your Q as well and, you know, being able to devour the Taric. So Going to do quite well into some of the pick potential that Vici have in their comp as well. So
Are they going to blind Renekton, though? This has been the detriment of many teams in the LPL.
that'll be strange because Chalitza's only played it once.
Yeah.
Well, Chalitza is going to play the Renekton. Chalitza obviously is much more of a Wukong player. It's his most played champion by far.
Cube has his Kennen. Cube loves Kennen. He's most played in his career. Not this split, of course. Renekton sits up there. Does he want it?
It would be kind of strange. DMO have a lot of range to play with against a Kennen. Like, it'd be really hard for him to get in. A Chain of Crystal Arrow, you have Pillar to shut him down as well.
That's why I have you here.
Yep.
You got to tell me why.
Hey, this is why, you know, our duo strength
Works
is so
so
strong.
well.
Exactly.
Okay,
But
now why the Ornn?
it looks like they're just going for, you know, a pretty generic front-to-back teamfight setup, but yeah, there aren't really too many other good picks into the Renekton because, like, what could you realistically pick that's going to win lane? I guess you could go for something like a Jace theoretically, but I'm kind of glad they don't. I just don't like seeing Jaces here in the LPL because, you know, Echo sets up for a pretty good 1-3-1, but it just seems like a very generic neutral matchup.
Yeah.
And also champions that are, you know, mobile like Ashe and Syndra, the Call of the Forge God's going to do quite well into them. And now we're setting up for this more 1-4 style comp coming out from Vici. We're going to get to a point where, like, if it goes ultra late, Echo will have third on turrets, but also going to do quite well in team fights. And we already talked about the synergy between Taric and Echo, so it feels like he's going to play a lot more of a flanking role on this Echo. And yeah, Vici's comp going to be a lot more about these skirmishes and about these team fights. For DMO, it's kind of the same thing. I'd say we are indexing more into the realm of pick with the double global and bot lane, as well as the Scout of the Week coming from mid and, you know, a strong early game top laner. But definitely the name of the game for DMO is strong early game skirmishes, playing around our strong lanes and playing around the one item mark, to where for Vici, you can fight in those time periods, but it's going to be tough, right? The fact that you're playing around things like Taric Ultimate is very... like, you need good coordination there with your team. Sure. The thing that stands out for them is that they do have a scaling advantage coming in with that Echo and the Ornn, and that they will have a side lane advantage later on.
At the very least, you know, I'll add my 2 cents. You pile into a choke here if you're DMO, and you're probably going to get neutralized yourself.
Yeah,
it's going to be very dangerous to walk through gaps in vision, but we'll see, sir. We're about to get our Gyos for Vici and DMO.
We have DMO Gyos?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
We just came from shooting an OMG, and we get a DMO Gyo.
I'm so hyped for that.
DMO has fans.
Yeah, that's... Whoa.
To be fair...
And that's not even meant to insult DMO, but
No,
just,
no,
you know,
no.
like, fans are usually very... not even just Chinese, like, fans in general are very fickle. When their teams are losing, that's kind of when you, like, you hide in your shell and you don't show your faces, but...
Because you know where they picked up the fans? When Silent Dragon made playoffs in their first split. Much like, who was it? E-Star picked up fans last split on their first split ever when they made playoffs, in a very similar situation to DMO. Another team that should be out.
Twyla makes a lot of, like, cute, wholesome, like, gestures and, like, a lot of the poses, so I could see how that guy has fans.
Also, DMO has a dog, so that does get fans.
Oh, they do.
Have you seen it? It's a little corgi.
It is, and oh god, little corgis are the best.
Ah, very cute.
Shout out to EDG Corgi.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so for the side of DMO, this is the team we expect to be the aggressors, and the thing is, you can also have why are you looking at me like this?
It's actually DMO's special day today.
Huh.
Their sing day, I've heard.
So what's that actually mean? Explain that to us.
Hang on, no, I was told in my ear from my producer who helped me out. I believe in summer, from memory, from last year, each team has their own day, right?
Yeah.
And usually when we're in the stadium, like, we get cool dancers.
Oh, so, okay, so
Yeah,
that's okay.
it's like their day.
Yeah.
Right?
So the thing is, we're still having those despite not having a crowd, I guess.
Yes.
So there isn't necessarily anything special about it other than their Gyos.
I don't think anyone was dancing.
Yeah.
But we do get a DMO Gyo.
Ah, I understand. We had those back in the LMS too, the like special like fan days at the arenas, but we never arenas, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Point is, it's DMO's day. We're cheering on DMO.
Yeah.
The cast is getting a bit biased here today, you know, just because we found that out. But, you know, talking about for DMO, the thing I like is, you know, you have some pretty cool options in this game for ganks. I would have liked to see if they could have tried to set up something level 2 in mid, because Echo is a champion that, you know, if Xiaopeng could have showed up, put that pillar behind Zika, if Zika has to burn flash, you lose a lot of your inherent threat, and also you have to start playing so safe, and in a melee against range matchup, having to play under your turret is not a fun experience at all.
No, it is not.
That's how we used to actually see the matchup really get hard countered back in, I think it was Season 7 when it was metas. You'd see a lot of early level 2 and level 3 ganks mid to where Echo can't find that good, like, Dark Seal back, and then have the free laning phase.
Because as we see this invade coming through, we've talked about this matchup specifically quite a lot. Great pillar, actually. But the dueling great from both of these carries. And, sorry, bruises.
We have also seen Volibear win out a lot in these 1v1s. And, you know, Xiaopeng did opt into that fight. But it is for this reason. It is because Twyla will just have, you know, constant early pressure in this lane.
Coming back to this, the one-on-one, although it doesn't feel like it will be for very long, we talked about how Echo pulls the windows in for Syndra and how this matchup actually goes based on levels, if you want to reiterate.
Yeah, an interesting aspect too is, you know, being able to dodge out on that Scatter of the Week and still connect it all in the Syndra. But, you know, let's look at Xiaopeng.
I might ask you in a second, the wave building up here.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get dove. I mean, Zika's backing. Zika has TP.
But on with a good searing charge can be hard to dive. Under turret, waiting for the first hit to come through. Double TP to find its mark. Shalita going to get hit. Slice and dices away, but it's match. First blood goes to Zika Cube. Takes so long to die. Twyla's low as well. And DMO, it's just not your day, despite the Gyos. 2-0 Echo. Zika going for his third.
I mean, and it's unfortunate. I actually thought he was potentially going to be able to get it. Okay.
Oh no,
okay,
Ike's is walking in. Twyla's here, spotted out. Has his own flash, but he's just dead. Oh!
Well, DMO fans, the Giles were awesome, but I feel like this one's already
kaput.
Yeah, this one's already pretty donezo. But
holy moly,
we see here they try, but the unfortunate thing was that Zika moved off to a good position. We already pointed out that he was going to come in for this TP, so great job by Cube to survive long enough for it to, you know, to buy that time. I feel like here if Zika went for Twyla, maybe they could have killed both, but I guess in the end it doesn't matter anyway, because guess what? They still killed both.
Yeah. 2-0. Now, can we just quickly, I know the matchup's going to go a complete opposite way after seeing a 2-0 Echo, but you talked about dodging Scatter of the Week, but apart from that, in the past, people have looked at Echo as a good matchup into Syndra.
Like, the thing is for Echo is, on your first back, you know, you typically start Corrupting Potion. Even just backing with Dark Seal, you typically have enough sustain to just kind of throw out your Q and play a very, let's say, non-interactive lane phase if you want, and you could just start moving to sides very early on. So your wave clear is obviously really good on Echo as a scaling assassin, which is pretty good. And then when you add in that, he can dodge the Scout of the Week. When you add in that, you have your ult, which counters her ult. There's just so many ways that Echo does well into the Syndra, especially once you get the Proto Belt and you can pretty much get on top of her anytime you want.
And we know Syndra, as soon as caught by the parallel convergence, feels pretty damn good as an Echo.
I would say, though, we've seen a lot of bad Echoes in LPL.
Oh.
A lot of players who just don't know this matchup.
Icon, for some reason, even though in the past he's been an okay Echo, has shown us this matchup many times.
I love Mole, but Mole did not know how to play this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Mole got pretty destroyed.
I don't think we've seen the greatest of Echoes. I think Knight, because that's his OTP, has shown us the best one so far.
Yep. Knight is the OG Echo player. If those of you who don't know, he did get rank 1 in Korea, and Echo was one of his most played champions, was an Echo main.
I was going to ask you if Vici are going to contest this dragon, but even with the lead already there, you did talk about the strong early lanes from DMO, and it's already being influenced. As eaten up is Xiaopeng. Saves iBoy and Meisha from getting another kill.
Right, and it goes back to what you just pointed out is DMO do still have, you know, strong lanes. It's true their bot lane going to have some push. Syndra even going to be able to clear up these waves if she wants, but at the same time for Vici, you still feel fine because guess what? Your Echo is 2 kills. You know you're going to win in the war of scaling. You know once we get to a mark where, hey, maybe we get first item on iBoy as well, we can really start taking these fights because that's what Zika especially wants, right? Zika wants to get that Proto Belt. We want the Blade of the Rune King coming out for iBoy. And then Vici are going to be extremely strong as well. It's kind of interesting because we have 2 comps that are both able to fight at not level 1, I'm sorry, at their first item.
Okay.
But Vici definitely have options beyond that.
Okay. Talked about the skirmishing and fighting enabled. Ike's going to his own red, but Xiaopeng's already taken that away. The Bear has a level lead, sees his red gone, and we know when bears get angry, they do something about it. Zeke with parallel convergence. It's going to be going towards... No, back to mid. Oh, the howdly doodly. On to Twyla, who's just getting whacked around. Phase dive is the weight. Scatter the weak, great. And Zika doesn't have ult available. So
yeah, and he's level 7.
Has he not leveled it?
He's not leveled it.
Ah, new tactic, of course. Why is he not leveled it?
Huh. I mean, it must be a conscious choice.
You
I wonder if
think?
he doesn't feel threat. I mean, he's level, so he didn't mistakenly not level it up twice, right? Once is one thing. Twice?
Could just be a
I
double
wonder if he-
misclick.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, true. Like I said, new meta. Yeah, you're right. Who needs it? Who needs
I
a
mean,
chrono break?
I'm not trying to justify him not taking it. I'm trying to like
Rationalize.
it
Yeah.
even to myself.
I know, and I'm just being an absolute troll.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I just
kind of are.
I play a lot of Echo, and you know what? The ult feels pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, even there in that fight, I think he could have set up to get the ult damage onto Twyla, but
Maybe.
you know, let's move forward.
I'm
as
curious.
I can see you're doing.
Extra level of phase dive, maybe. We'll see, because
He
the
put it on Q.
Observer hasn't picked it out yet. Zika going into the back line, ready for the two-man stun. Gets Scatter the Weak once again. Unleash power. Maybe DMO don't know this. Chat across the arrows coming through, and Xiaopeng just going to get autoed to death. Need to get the dragon, the herald, and it will be done. Thy will of Chalitza now in the middle versus 4 as he Scatter the Weaks out, flushes out. DMO lose a little bit more, and Zika doesn't die.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was worth.
So overall, we see the Renekton, the Syndra, the Ashe falling behind. So
He's level 8. He's level 8 and still doesn't have his ult.
again, I saw before he put those points into his Q.
Okay.
I think he might have had 2 in his W, if I remember correctly. So it was something weird.
Oh.
But he put an extra point in Q and put an extra point somewhere else. But we do see here Xiaopeng getting caught out. Great ultimate coming out from Ike's. And, you know, even Cube here able to follow up Maestro as well. You know, good job on the Taric. And like we said, we see this Renekton falling behind. We know that this Echo is going to scale up and become like, a pretty late game monster.
Maybe it's BM.
It's not BM.
Oh, I wish it was. It'd make it a lot more interesting. But Zika, I mean, he'd have a max Q at this point then if you don't have ult. You can time one to max at level 8 at the very least. I'm curious. We'll still wait for the Observer. Of course, we're on the English side here. We can't just ask the Chinese side to look at him.
Yeah, I saw a Reddit post saying they wish that LPL and LCK casters would do that more, but I don't think they realize that we actually
We
can't
don't
do
have
that.
communication,
Yeah, we actually cannot do that.
And you'd have to send an email
We
through.
have to like ask our English producer to email the Chinese producer, hope they read it.
in time.
Then maybe
Maybe they'll read it after the
maybe
game.
by the next game we get it.
Oh, level 9. Wait for it. Huh.
Is this a visual bug?
But hang on. The thing is, we haven't seen him use it, of course. And we don't see the trail behind it. It could be a visual bug. Unless I'm open to being wrong. I'm happy if it's some new meta thing. Then I'm cool. You know, I like learning.
I'm just saying, I'm
Yeah,
constantly looking at solo queue.
And I kind of like that you've given me context as to maybe why. It still doesn't have it. We'll see. If it's a visual bug, that'd make a lot of sense. Well spotted, sir. Anyway, new Echo meta. Your ultimate not valuable.
Well, but whatever. Let's move forward.
We should move forward.
Yeah,
because you know I'll come back.
I mean, we know we're going to come back to it, but Vici still have Herald, so great job. We see them putting that down because Dragon is coming up, so going to be able to secure this one and even get some plate gold down as well. So
On the Fed
that's
Echo.
going to be nice for Zika. And yeah, now they're going to secure 2 objectives at once. And the thing is for DMO, we're going to start needing to see some kind of play like in Abyssal Voyage with Shubin into a side lane, maybe onto Cube, even though, you know, he's a tank, just to pick something up, just to open up the map somewhere, you know, 3-man that top side, get some turret plate gold onto Chalitza, try and get him back in the game, something along those lines, because we're in pretty dire waters for the side of DMO right now.
Oh, absolutely. Already stated out the scaling, right, where he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He actually just doesn't have it. It's not a visual bug. He's level 10, doesn't have it. So we're going to go for the invade here for Ike's. We'll continue forward here. Keep you updated on that front. While Ike's is just invading again and chat across the arrow and lay it down. Shubin misses, though. Now gets the help of Zika. Xiaopeng, here comes the parallel convergence. Phase dive used. The shielding going to be massive here as he protobelts out Zika. Scatter the Weak with Unleashed Power. Still doesn't die though. The Fate score with 2-man knockup. Now in with the ulti from Tarek and invulnerable health bars. Eyeboy onto Shubin. The Ren City appears. It's a double, and DMO, they're in bad waters before this, but it's already so down the drain as everything working out well, and Zika's ulti is on a cooldown.
Yes. Yes, it is. But overall, we came into the series with questions for Vici. We said, hey, Vici need to show us a very dominant performance against DMO. And guess what? They capitalized off one of DMO's mistakes, and it has been extremely dominant since then. Let's take another look at this fight. We see Zika going a bit too far forward, almost gets bursted down. And
He had it.
Here's finally the ult. Yeah, so was it just a visual bug?
It has to be, because it said 0.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there were 5 points, 1 on W, 2 on E.
When the spectator scrolled over Echo, it had no point in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
so
we saw.
That was very weird. But whatever. Point is, Vici won the fight. Vici are 4K gold up right now. Almost 4K gold up right now. They have pressure in every lane. I guess they technically don't have pressure topside, but you have Sunfire and Bramble
He's
Vest
even
into
in CS.
Renekton. Like Cube, not Cube. Chalitza has no threat onto Cube.
Zika getting tackled here by Xiaopeng. At the very least, you know, we were looking at ways for DMO to come back into this game, but with the Dragon taken before by Vici Gaming, the lead they have, the 1.5 items on this Echo, it seems near impossible. But at the very least, I have to say that Lyric, I got my hopes up like this before. I thought, oh, Vici very clean against the likes of EDG, OMG in game 1. But then we get through the series, and Vici able to replicate this has been the biggest question. So a good start once again. We have to see them close it out, of course, in this game, and where they go from here.
Yeah, and great to see Zika on this Echo, and especially once he picks up that Lich Bane, the 2-item spike is really the one that's massive for Echo in side lanes and in 1v1s. And then that 3-item mark is when you really get a lot more freedom in skirmishes and team fights, you know, being able to go in, use your full combo. If you're in danger of Zhonya's, come out of Zhonya's, use your full combo once again. Ult, once again, potentially get a full combo out. So those are the next 2 big marks for Echo that we're looking for.
He gets solid turret gold, so you should be seeing that Lich Bane very soon.
Yeah, and now it's going to be quite rough because now Zika's going to be able to push in Twilight to his inner turret, and with Ike's hovering, he could potentially just dip into Fog of War on either side, and then their side lane's going to have to back off.
Here we go. Twilight in a bit of a pickle. No flash available, knocked on up. The shield works as well. Zika destroys. Chrono breaks back on out here at the level of Marcus Q. Doesn't matter where I head, you can do that.
Yeah, I wish Cube was laughing at that, but Vici are very serious right now, and we've talked about this many times. Vici are one of our more serious teams, one of our less jovial.
Hey,
I guess that's Coma, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about coaches a lot. I've given a lot of insight into my experience coaching and what I think of coaches, but maybe Coma does have quite a different
secret book.
Not book, but he definitely has a different glow to him, I'm sure, to players because you are so well. Coma's a coach that doesn't have to come onto your team and try to earn respect, right? Coma's a coach that comes into the team, and you do respect Coma for his accolades.
We're happy to have you here.
Exactly. Yeah. Coma's the type of coach, you come in and you're like, okay, I see your resume. It doesn't even matter what you did or didn't do on your team. It just respect.
It's just like when you get onto a team, right? People go, oh, this guy.
Oh, this guy.
This guy.
One CBLOL.
One CBLOL and is an LPL caster. You can't do it all.
How many people in LPL have won CBLOL and finished top 3 in LMS? How many?
CN Jat. That's who you are. Budget LS. You got so many titles
Budget
already.
LS and China Jat?
Yeah.
I can't wait for my next one. I can't wait for my LEC reference. So now I have an LCK and an NA.
Who would you like to be?
It's not my choice. You keep giving them to me.
I don't feel like I do it today, though. We're going to work at it.
It needs to be very organic.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, though, because when you called me Budget LS, I thought, hey, that's kind of true for the fact that I also think you're Budget Atlas. So it did go both ways.
The funny thing is, I wasn't even the person. I just replicated. Someone in chat said it the first week you came on. Because you started talking about Morel and Omicron.
My favorite thing was it Rabadon Salesman.
Oh, yeah.
That one was the best.
Perfect. As Zika tries for a flank. DMO have moved into here. Now, I did say the smartest thing I've ever said, which is moving into a choke.
This is not a good play by DMO.
Yeah, and they're going to walk right on into it. First dead is going to be Twyla. Chrono Break on top as well. Shubin, the next to fall. And DMO, if they're not careful, this turns into an ace. A triple kill, turning into a quadra that's stolen by iBoy. 11-1. Vici at 17 minutes cannot be stopped.
Like, let's put it in perspective. Realistically, with the point we're at, DMO don't really have any good options. So, you know, it's hard to criticize them for doing that.
GG
but
go next.
the point that they walked through that choke, as you pointed out, as you highlighted choke.
I did.
But when you just say, huh, there's an echo on our flank. You know, this 2-item echo, that's extremely strong. Well, let's just keep walking forward. Give him the perfect position to flank. He finds it. And then we'll see here, right? They actively walk past him. Sets up for an easy call to the Forge God. And guess what? Zika just gets to jump in and deal all his bursts. So this fight, done and dusted at that point. What I would like to see out of DMO is the play that I set up earlier. You're just going to lose out straight up 5v5 if you go for these plays. So except, hey, we're going to lose somewhere. We're going to lose somewhere on the map. So what we're going to do is, let's say, we're going to give up top right now. We're just going to let Zika push top for free. We're going to commit Twyla and Yui to, you know, ulting in mid or ulting in bot and trying to win with a numbers advantage somewhere else. They need some sort of play like that, and then you're at least like elongating the game, getting some gold back, and hoping for a Vici throw.
Okay.
So there you go. There was a very serious, analytical answer for what DMO should do, but at the same time, they're down almost 10k.
And this Herald at the 19-minute mark will be taken. Baron then available for a Callista with a Fed Echo. And Zika just doing this. Onto Twyla, Protobelt used. One more auto, flashes away, Chrono Break done. Yep.
Sometimes you don't need to analyze, because I was just going to say, guess what? He could dive.
He could.
Hey,
14 stacks now.
he, as we will see.
DMO shouldn't be on the map. That's a good pillar. Yui going to get knocked up. He shouldn't be here. But he's going to flash over the wall. But he's still dead. Ren just about to come through. And you know what? On the break, Zika's like, it's time for more kills. And we're going to see if Vici can go the rest of the game without dying anymore. Because it was a near-perfect game, bar the dragon and the kill given over.
So,
Ike's actually going to tell me no, but runs into a parking
Oh, wow.
Xiaopeng. Yeah, stepping up a bit. Maestro now on his exit path. But iBoy's here. iBoy also a bit of a chunky boy as Cosmic Radiance flies down. Now invulnerability is the TP. Uh-oh, that's Zika. A good scat of the week, but he's still going to get in there and destroys Chalitza. Forward goes DMO. Time Kench comes through. Chrono Break now available into the back. Zika just forces Shubin out. The Chrono Break could be used.
Let's be honest, though. DMO have some fight in them, and that's why we Jio. That's why we support DMO, because guess what? They don't roll over. They don't just go next. We get Xiaopeng and Chalitza flashing in and finding a kill.
Doing something is good. I agree.
But, you know, on to maybe a more relevant conversation. Sooning WELGD. Who is your dark horse to actually make something happen in playoffs that probably shouldn't?
Vici. Is that in the list? No.
No.
— WELGD.
Yeah, because, you know, those three look pretty confirmed for playoffs. For those of you listening, they're not confirmed, but, you know, like they look pretty close.
I talked about LGD being the dark horse at the start of the split because they have a good roster. I can't say that if I put them 5th, though, can I? I put them 5th at the start of the split, you remember?
I still think, because, like, right now you don't necessarily expect them to be maybe 5th, but, you know, which one of these teams do you think can break into top 4?
Oh, okay.
Because 4th is like the very, I'd say, contentious spot, right? We expect top esports, IG, and JDG to be that top 3.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe a few of us lean V5, like me and you, for that 4th spot, but who can break in, right? That's a tough one.
I think LGD, dark horse in that regard. I thought you meant dark horse for top 8. No, I would say Vici at this point.
Yeah.
Because that's a true dark horse of like, well, we've seen them at their lows, we've seen them at their highs, but we don't know which version we're going to get game in, game out.
Still Rogue Warriors for 8th.
Oh,
like, they're my dark horse.
Good block from Xiaopeng. Zika onto him again. Walks away, but yeah, I think LGD for top 4. Because honestly, what I've seen from Sooning in the past couple of weeks, although with the score they could get it, realistically, I don't think they're a top 4 team.
No.
As Baron's just going to go down here at 21 minutes of the game. Now, still brings you back in, but Vici might just turn for a fight instead.
Look, if they turn for a fight, DMO lose.
Call the Forge God. Zika over the wall. Shubin in hell right now. Chrono Break over the wall. Leads him to Yui. Another stack for the Death Note. Knocked up. Get the clip. And get the video camera, mum, because we are getting absolutely destroyed here. Twyla gets rendered. Game over. Was a while ago. Quick game's a good game, says Vici game.
Yeah, overall, just been really nice to see from Zika. They capitalized on one mistake, only one. I mean, it was a pretty big mistake, to be fair, but great win coming out from Vici.
10-0 and 3. And look, we can't even get the ads up. This was meant to come out sometime in the game. Like, quick, roll the tape. Cosmic Radiance used here, and turns out Zika had his ult all along. That's what I learned this game. 10-0 and 3. 25 stacks for the Magi's as more kills in the bank. Cube doesn't die. Zika's going to pick up his 11th kill. That was an absolute stomp in one of our quickest games in summer so far.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think about that one. That was sad for DMO. That's what that was. It's DMO's fan day, so, you know,